Today is my great honor to interview Ron Yang, a very experienced international trainer and healer and spiritual teacher that I truly respect and adore. So Ron Yang, thank you. Thanks for coming. Thanks to be interviewed. Last time, actually the night before, you talked about world healer. I'm really inspired by this idea. Could you share more? What do you mean by world healer or healing of the world?
All of the healers of the world, which would be all the people of all different careers, whether they're working in a bank or they're working on the street or they're policemen or therapists or teachers or mothers, fathers, whatever they're doing is not important. The healers of the world took the pain of the mother, without exception. The mothers had difficulties, and the small ones, the little children in their power of love, they reached out and they said, I have the power, I take your difficulty, I take your difficulty. But they did this before the age of 3. So there's a black hole. There's no knowing that they took anything from the mother. They took the difficulty. And then at 3.5, 4, they start to process cause and effect. My toy broke, I feel like this. You're not talking to me, I feel like this. You don't want me around. You push me away, I feel excluded. But between the gestation, the first 9 months, after 4 months, you are conscious in the womb. You're part of the chemical, you're part of the hormonal, you're part of the emotional, and you are a complete movement with the mother's field of life and her response to life, her difficulty to life. So between that time and the time, say 2.5 years, you've already done all the work of taking the difficulty of with the love to assist her. In the Hellinger work, constellation work, Dr. Bert Hellinger, the phrases would be, Dear Mother, I am strong enough. Dear Mother, I do it for love. Dear Mother, I take it for you. I take it. 3.5 years of age, the mother is in suffering. 4 years of age, the child sees the mother's difficulty and is going to the mother like a magnet. It's a normal movement to move to pain now. But the mother does not want the child involved in her pain. So she's pulling back the pain and her difficulty from the child so the child has no involvement. That child grows up saying, my mother excluded me.
Yeah.
My mother pushed me away. My mother did not want me. That child grows up not trusting the mother field that gave life.
Yeah.
Okay. With that understanding, the mother's movement of love was to protect the child from her suffering. She did not want the child involved. That little child grows up to be the big one, is always this small, but is the know-it-all of the family. That one is going to see everything immediately as it happens. It's going to tell everybody what to do, where to be, how to be, including the mother and father. You do this, that's wrong. You're not doing that right.
As a resistance?
That's all the healers of the world. Because they know what's what, like this, they know what's what. Their frequency of perception very fast. And their understanding of the order of love is very strong. But they have no life experience. No life experience. They have only this innocence of being a child.
Yeah.
But they're telling the mother and the father who have responsibility for the responsibility of the house, the work, the money, the taxes, they're telling them what to do. No, you're not doing this right. You should do this. They have no life experience. They have no responsibility. You understand? When they took the pain of the mother, and again, this is from the Hellinger work, they took the pain of the mother. To take the pain of someone, you have to be bigger than they are. So if I take your pain, I'm this big, but I become this big because I was able to take your pain. In that moment, the mother lost their child. In that moment, the father lost their child. The father and mother will be very strong to pull them back, to bring them to earth, because the children, the little big ones, they think they're on the earth. No, they've moved out of their field. They lost the place they were given in life. They have no understanding of the mother of life, the one who grew him or her in the body. There's no gratitude, you see. They're holding me back. They don't understand me. They don't see me. They don't hear me. But they're living here. And from here they can see everything, and they're telling the order because they know everything. You see, they're very angry. No one understands me. Nobody sees me. But their movement, they're compelled to move to pain. They're going to serve pain. They're going to arrive to the suffering of the world. It does not matter what they do for a job or career. They're just arriving. They can't help it. They're going to arrive with love to serve the world. Those are the people that everyone comes to. Oh, I have a difficulty. I go call my friend. I have trouble. I call this one. Because you have the gift from the mother. The gift from the mother is you took the pain. You understand pain. You will respond to pain. To bring the big ones, the little big ones to earth, they have to come to the place of being small, with trust, with vulnerability to the mother field that gave life to them. That journey is anywhere from 2 to 10 years. Because the little big ones were never small. They were never trusting. They were always telling everyone what to do. They know better than everybody. Oh, why don't you understand the situation? I see it. Boom, 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 boom. No, people are living a normal life of development. And the little big ones moved out of development to just perception. And they do that without understanding the power of the heart. And it becomes very much a willful thing, a judgmental thing. You're wrong, you should do it this way. But they are still serving pain. And that compassion heart needs to be developed. Now, most people hearing this are the healers of the world. You're seeking spiritual understanding, spiritual development. The difficulty is that you have a deep empathy. And so the empathy is my emotional structure, my emotional intelligence, and your emotional structure. They are overlapping continuously. So you come in the room with difficulty. I feel exactly your difficulty. And that's not intelligence. That's my emotional structure, body, overlapping with your emotional structure, body. And I feel you, I know you. The problem is, I'm taking the place of wisdom to you, but I do not see you. I don't see you. I see you in my experience of life. If you come into me with resentment or anger or guilt, I will feel it. I will see you through my experience of resentment, anger, guilt. And I will say to you, oh, if I were you, I would do this, this, and this. You see? Now that's most therapeutic process, giving advice. The very deep level of healing is no advice. No advice. It's a deep seeing of this person, the deep recognition of the total being, the deep offering of support to walk with. And to walk with is different than being the one in charge, or the one spontaneously carrying 50 people here all day and night, year after year after year, when they did not even ask for it. Because the healers of the world are compelled to make the world better. But to make the world better, you take away the judgment. You take the way the should be, and you start to see what is. And then the movement of life comes through. Now, how do we get to that? The first development is the movement back to yourself. The healers of the world, they have no boundary. Everybody's story is their story. That's my story. I understand you. That's my story. I understand you. No. Your story is your story. I'm here. In the Hellinger work, there are 3 phrases. I am here, you are there. If you say this, I am here, you are there, suddenly your field, your etheric elemental field, takes boundary, and you are held and you are contained in a place. Your consciousness can start to see the other one. I am here, you are there. Oh, I see you. You're not a run-on sentence of me. You are you. And the second phrase is, that's your story, it's not my story. That's your story. Ah, I'm not you. Ah, that's your story, you are there, I'm sitting here, I begin to see you in your story. I open from within my nature of compassion, and I start to sit with you. Not to change you, not to make you different, not to make you better, not to correct by judgment or the sense of failure or guilt or shame your movements that you hold, not to correct anything, but to sit in this place, in this embrace, in this openness, and in that the world is changing. It's the full recognition, the full seeing, the full understanding. That is the deeper movement of healing. But to come to that place, you're taking first that place of being small, that place of trusting the mother field of life. The mother field of life is giving you the power of the field of creation, Shakti field, movement into the great field of your nature. Without that, it's endless effort, endless failure, endless insufficiency to everything. Everything the healers of the world are doing in the midst of healing, I'm not good enough, I'm not developed enough, I'm not pure enough, I haven't arrived yet, but they're still compelled to do. But they haven't had the place where they receive the offering of their nature. And that comes through the trust of the mother field. And then the opening comes. When that opening comes, the greater intelligence of seeing the greater nature of every human being. To understand that there are many movements of the human being that are natural, that are required through the experience of life for development. It's not simply the other one deciding that's not good for you, or I'll take it away from you so you don't have to suffer. You have to recognize the greater movements and allow that permission of seeing that, of honoring it, that empowerment to go through to each human being. It's different.
Okay. Thank you, Ron. It's very profound and very deep. Could I ask how to develop myself from this very self-victimizing? I blame my mother. I want to be big. I want to control and resist my mother. How to develop, especially if my mom herself is very distorted, is full of agony, full of pain, suffering, guilt, shame. She is not full of love, at least apparently, no. I want to love her, but I how to elevate myself from this me painful victim story, become a world healer. I told my mom, what should I do?
Well, the first thing is that the healers of the world, they've judged the mother, they're disappointed by the mother. They don't, my mother disappoints me, I'm ashamed of my mother.
Yeah.
She has great difficulty. Why can't she be like somebody else's mother?
Why can't she?
Yeah, no, because she's the one that gave life to you. She's the one that agreed to you. She's the only one that said yes to your incarnation. That's why. Okay. And she gave you the conditions necessary for your development by bringing you through her system for your going forward. No. So the Hellinger work has a movement called Mother Movement and Father Movement. This is the base of the work. The work has developed in many ways. I brought great development into it, very advanced levels. But the base of the work is very powerful. And so the image is the healer of the world has become the little tiny one, a year old, a year and a half old. The mother is standing in front, the giant. This adult child is sitting on the ground looking up at giant mother. Giant mother, the umbrella of life, the protection of life, the giver of life, the food of life. She grew you in her body. All the cells came through her. She generated you from the field of life. She gave her original chi to your body so you could be born. She depleted herself in offering life to you. And you tell her, you're not enough for me. You're not good enough for me. I'm tired of you. I want a different mother. No, it doesn't work that way. In this culture, you're trained to bow to your mother.
Yeah.
But to bow to your mother means to honor that who is the giver of life to you. And it goes back generation after generation after generation after generation. As you start to take that place of understanding the field of life to you, there is a movement of becoming small and of becoming trusting. And it takes time. But becoming small and becoming trusting when you have spiritual practice, that is the only place that the creative field can arrive to truly. You have all the healers of the world. They're 20, 30, 40 years in meditation, and they're still starving to death. Because the God of life, the Buddha of life, the Krishna of life cannot get to them. It gets to them, 5 minutes of bliss, I'm so happy. No, the movement of life is day and night continuously taking you down the street of life. It's not 5 minutes. It's not a 20-minute blissful meditation. It's life itself taking you. So you become small, and the movement of the creation opens through all of you. It takes you forward. In that movement, the mother of life within you is opening, nourishing, taking you straight to source field, straight to source field. The fulfillment is pouring through. There's no starvation. And at that point, I am not compelled to love anymore. I am not compelled to respond to everybody anymore. I give permission and I choose to love. I choose compassion. I choose that understanding. And that's then the beginning of the great movement of love. It's not the duty of love. It's not the obligation of love. That's all empty. It's empty movement. Oh, I have to do this. Oh, I got to do this. I have to. No. This is the offering of your nature. It's very different.
Could I put it like this? When I try to open my heart to my mom's love, I'm actually not opening to my physical mother. She's just a channel, vehicle to the divine feminine, because she could be so distorted, so outrageous, so...
No, absolutely not. You're opening to your physical mother, and 1 millimeter behind the physical mother is the mother of the world. Oh, I don't want my mother. I go to the mother of the world. You're going to be starving for the mother of the world for the rest of your life because you can't see the mother of the world that gave life to you, called your mother. So what you do is very simple. When you look at the mother, you are looking at the conditions, the result of the conditions of the life that she lived through. You are making her either the Eve, the original mother, the original woman of the world. You're not understanding that she has been held in the rigidity of her generation. She has been held in the conditions of her generation. She has been held in the rigidity of those who came before, and that rigidity was to protect and to keep safe that child. And that is passed to you. But you can never understand her, because the conditions of her life, of what she went through, the difficulties of that time, are beyond you and the difficulties of your time. But the problem with that little child is they think, oh, I know what you are. No, they're looking at the result of the difficulties. They do not see the great movement of love and protection and love and protection, of the confinements of condition, of the heroic movement of compassion for the next generation to be born. They don't see that power. They just see her insufficiency. Everyone has the movement of their nature to move to source within, to move what is true to them within, to move to the river of life that they were meant to live within. The family field is there to maintain you in its safety, to prepare you for the future unknown to you. It cannot take you there, but it prepares you.
Yeah.
The little big ones are out there. In this work, you're brought to the earth. You're taking now your place in lineage. It's pushing you forward. Destiny field comes in. Your spiritual nature is open. It's taking you forward. You are in an empowered state. And life is coming to you. It's coming to you. Agreement to life. So the healers of the world are living in insufficiency at many levels because they have not allowed mother field of life, which is the mother and the father who gave life to them, to be the mother and the father, which means to be guru. They were the ones through which the life field incorporated the egg and the semen to come through. Mother, father of life. And so they live without a roof over their head. They're the ones who go seeking the guru over the world.
Yeah.
Because they have no mother, father. The guru is not there to be mother, father. The guru is there to teach you your true nature, not your psychological reality. Not to give you what you didn't get. You already got everything. You take the mother and the father who gave life to you, and then the guru is there. Life is there, coming to you.
So no guru can replace mom's position.
No, but then you get the guru. Then you go to the teaching, you receive the teaching.
Yeah.
Because you have mother, father.
Yeah.
Then you get the big download. You get the big opening.
Okay.
Well, you go to the guru, you go to the guru, you go to the guru. But with no mother, father,
It's projection and displacement.
everyone has the journey.
Yeah.
I'm not giving judgment.
Okay.
But for the big opening, the big reception to your greater nature, bow to mother, father who gave life to you. Understand they are beyond you. You cannot tell them what to do. They are beyond you. They gave life to you. You see? And the little big ones, the healers of the world, do not know that.
So how about when my mother or father is physically hurting me, physically abusive?
So in this work, it's very difficult to understand. But that is also a movement of love quite often. Trying to get you into your place correctly for life to come on your head.
Yeah.
The healers of the world will say they're understood and unseen. Understood and unseen. And the root teacher, everybody has a root teacher. My root teacher was Hilda Charlton. And she was born a vegetarian. Start another section.
No, it's fine. It's perfect.
right.
Ways beyond my expectation.
All right, give me a
I
moment.
never expect it's so profound right away. And you put it so precisely and concisely and straight to the root issue. I never heard about it before. Never. When you start sharing, I just hold my tears.
Oh.
I don't know why, but so touching and so profound. I thought I understand Hellinger. I didn't.
No, this is a movement going through you right now.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
having the constellation.
Yeah.
Let it go through you, don't push it back. As I go through.
So, yeah. Ooh, speechless. Be as it is as you taught the night before.
When anything comes, you make a journey, you have a thing to do.
Okay.
And there's interference, it's confirmation you're on the right track.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So my Hilda Charlton was the original teacher for me.
Yeah.
For this. She was a yogini. She
Yeah.
was referred to as a mother.
Okay.
She would do this to a person, the cancer was gone. But she spent her life in meditation. And she worked with Ruth St. Denis. In the modern dance, there was Isadora Duncan, then Ruth St. Denis, who did all the goddess dances.
Okay.
After World War II, Hilda went to the East and doing the goddess dances. When she got to India, she did not come back for 18 years. And she sat with the great ones, the ones they wrote all the books about. And she came back only because the family had died and she had to sign papers. She said in those times, in the 60s, there were all these white people coming in blue jeans with long hair, I'm looking for myself.
Yeah.
And well, yourself is here. When I met her, a friend of mine had said, you should go see this woman. She's downtown. She'll be there tomorrow and Thursday on 8th Street in New York City. I didn't go because he said there's many people. If you go late, you have to sit on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
You know, I find my teacher will be one person or two people, three people. So I took him uptown to St. John the Divine Cathedral. A friend of mine had just come to visit. I walk in the next day, and there's 700 people chanting in this cathedral. And I said, what's this? 8th Street, this is 112th Street. So 100 blocks north, 5 miles north. That's where she was.
Oh.
But he told me she's down there.
Yeah.
I said, I just heard about you yesterday, but you're supposed to be in the village. No, we just moved. And she comes out, starts chanting, gives a teaching of how to live life spiritually in the world, gives meditation, and then does healing work. The healing work is this, you fall over. I'm like, is this real?
Not a clue.
Is it real? You want it to be real, he said. I've been in already for years working. I've worked with people. But you always dream of this level of healing. I came back the second week, and I came back the third week. The third week, a woman came, and she didn't ask for healing. She had ovarian cancer. She was going for a complete hysterectomy the next week. And she asked for a blessing for the surgery.
Yeah.
That's the third week.
Yeah.
The fourth week, she came back with her doctor because there was nothing to operate on.
Wow.
And that's what I said. I said, wow.
Yeah.
But what I said was, how is that possible?
Sure.
And I sat at her feet for 12 years. And her work was yogic development, where you're going into absolute beingness, source field, Advaita, beyond all the form, direct into your nature. But part of her work, you see, people go into the spiritual traditions. And the old tradition of spiritual tradition is you leave the world behind. You leave the family behind.
Yes.
You're going to change your name.
Yes.
You're going to get a spiritual name. You see?
Yes.
No, you already got a spiritual name. It's the one you're born with. You see? You don't need another name.
Okay.
And you gave that name. Your parents have all the books. They're looking for the names. And then they wake up. This is the name. You gave the name. You understand?
Okay.
Kid, you're going home to your parents this weekend. All the people I sat with, they're spending 3 to 6 months a year in India. Beautiful. I had the thing for me, if it's not here, it's nowhere. I had to understand what's here. You understand? So, unusual teacher. You're going home to your mother and father. You're going to tell them, I love you. In my family, no one said anything like, I love you. I'm going home, I love you. I'm going home again to my mother and my father. I'm starting to see them and understand them. They're the giver of life to me. That was my original constellation, 1976. That very good teacher pushing me and pushing me and pushing me, and then the mother of the world is opening through, all the way through. Because without understanding the doorway through which life came, without allowing it its authority, you cannot receive the blessing of life fully. Very difficult. And so the spiritual people, working very hard, moving very deeply of urgency, but that insufficiency, that starvation, that anguish of being not good enough, it leaves them just in great difficulty here at the heart. She took me out, and then I was sent to work with Oreste, who brought me in. And the difficulty there was to bring everything from that field here to this field. You see. So mother field is taking you to the place of life, the birthing of life, giving the roof to the house of life. Father field is that movement into time and space, the organization of the world. The father says to you, I wasn't home, I was busy working. My father wasn't home, he's always tired, he's always irritable. No, your father was building the world for you to live in when you left the house. Who built the world? Look outside those buildings. The communication, the organization, the structures, the father of the world. And so to understand the father who was insufficient, who wasn't good enough, he may have been drinking, gambling, he may have been too tired, he went to work. He went to work. He went to work. Doesn't matter how much money he made. He went to work. You understand that? And every time he went to work, he creates an etheric field for you when you go out the door of success for you. Because whether he's a janitor or he's a Wall Street banker, he's going out the door into the unknown every day. And whether he has a to-do list with everything to check off, it's still unknown. And when you go out that door as an adult, he can say to you, I wasn't here. I was tired. I may have been drinking too much, I've been gambling too much, I may have been, too tired. But that world you see out there, I built it for you to go into and live when you grew up. Father of the world. And so you take the deeper field, the deeper field, the deeper field opening through you, and you start to have the place where life opens through you. It comes to you. You're making an agreement to life, you're making choice to life, and you're stepping out of those habits of confinement that leave you in starvation. And then life begins and fulfillment.
I've never come across any teaching in my life concerning motherhood that brings such profundity, that brings me tears and hits me right away. So thank you, Ron.
If you in every culture, in every generation, there are many great difficulties, many great traumas, many great losses, tremendous movements of courage and love. The compassion to bring a generation forward is a great power of survival. For you to be sitting here, for me to be sitting here, we had thousands of years of people before us who had that great courage for us to be born today, for each generation to come forward to take the place for what's possible. If we cannot understand that, we never have our place to take the power, to give the compassion, to offer the wisdom, to give the place of listening. We had that no place. We'll always be on that big ladder telling everybody what to do, but starving to death, without the place of life to come, the fulfillment to come through, the offering to come through. And that's something different.
Ron, you talk about taking mother's pain. You mentioned specifically mother, not father. Is it possible that I intentionally, I take my father's pain.
Yes. You often will take both mother and father. You will find that the little big one, that little child,
Yeah.
will often put themselves between mother and father.
Yeah.
You'll protect the father from the mother. You protect the mother from the father. You'll get locked in the middle with the image, they cannot exist together if I'm not there. But what that does, it doesn't allow you to have your life. Because if you go to have your life, you're guilty for having it, and you have to go back always to that inward movement. This is my responsibility. And if you go out of that, you feel guilty, and you have to go back to it. That's the little big one, not understanding those two that gave life to them, and not giving them their place to live their life. You see? When you understand the power of life that came to you from those two, then you recognize them, and you're not removing yourself from them, you're becoming small. And all of that unknown and unseen arrogance that we held, that little big one has the power to save the world, which means mom and dad, by being bigger than them, that falls away from you. And they have their life, and they work it out. And that arrogance falls away, and you have your life now with no guilt, no failure, no shame, no disappointment, because you understand they are beyond you. Their conditions of time, what they went through. There's no more judgments to them. No more judgment. And you are in the place where you have received the blessing of the life they gave you when you were born.
So this so-called smallness
Right.
actually contains great humility and compassion that contains and embody the full embodiment of life.
When you do that particular work, this is, when I'm talking from 30 years of sitting with the teachers, but in this particular talk, this particular movement with Mother-Father field is from the Hellinger work. Now, to become small, to allow the mother and father to be mother and father, very difficult. Because as you go to that movement, you can't see them. Because all you're seeing is hundreds of video screens of all the negative images of mother and father, all the difficulties. You are looking for one thing. You are looking to find the mother who gave life to you. And usually that image, she was very young,
Yeah.
full of life.
Yeah.
She had her whole life in front of her, but she gave life to you in
Yeah.
that moment when she could have had anything.
Yeah.
And the father, he had his life in front of him.
Yeah.
But he said, yes, we will agree to bring you to earth, give life, and take you forward. If you find that image of her or him, and you work with that image, you will get there. You will arrive there. And then the spiritual image of humility, which no spiritual person has because it's a pretended humility. When you become small before them, you are in humility. It's your nature. You are in the trust of the envelope. You are in the trust of the movement that they have to you. They are your protection, your nourishment. They are your love, your compassion. There's no more of that, I'm here and you're there and you don't know what you're doing and 100 judgments. It's a natural movement and all of your arrogance will fall away. You'll know 2 to 3 months later, you'll feel it. Oh, now I understand. It's very profound. And then the agreement to life is no longer through what is missing. It is through the choice here of compassion. And life is coming to you. You're not going to life. You see, it's not about your ambition anymore. It's about your nature and what it came to do through you. And then it's birthing through.
So could I say mother is, my physical mother is the venue through which,
Mother
yeah,
is what?
yeah, I embrace the divinity of humanity.
So the exercise, just so again to the Hellinger work, since we're in the Hellinger work today. The mother is representing life,
Yeah,
and abundance and money. Life, abundance, money. The bank where your money is, that's the mother, not father.
okay.
Hellinger would say to you, if you want to be rich, have a good relationship with your mother. If you want to be a millionaire. So I was reading, you read all the interviews of the famous people. At least 1/3 of them have a phrase about what their mother did when they were young.
Yeah.
Never the father.
Yeah.
Mother of life. So you're becoming small, you see her big, you're small, you're coming to her. You're receiving her food. You're receiving her protection. She's irresistible to you. You cannot be without her. You're waiting for her to come home. You have to be there for her. She has to. That's the movement of the Great Mother. And then the Mother of the world, the Mother of the great field of creation, is pouring through you from inside out. It's a different movement to Source.
Would there be a danger of binary opposition when we focus too much on motherhood rather than fatherhood?
There are two movements. You do both movements.
Okay.
It's full integration.
Okay.
And it will bring up different difficulties through the heart field. Will bring up great rigidities and resentments. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
I think just now when I hear your teaching and I cry, I feel perhaps, I think you elevate my entire perception of my mother to a totally different level. I thought I loved my mother. I thought I embraced her. No, I didn't. Just now when I heard what you're teaching, I feel I still have lots of judgment, anger towards her.
Look at
and you hit me.
So what happens now?
Yeah.
Happens also here now. You're going to go to the therapist. You're going to find someone to work with about what they did or what they didn't do. You see? Everyone does this.
Yeah.
And no one sees anybody. And no one can go anywhere. They still have maybe a little understanding of things, but they're still starving for their nature.
Yeah.
It was given to us. It's always been there. There's no need to change the name.
Yeah.
The journey is here. But when you have that inner field open, then go see the Guru. And the Guru here is activated within, and the meaning is very profound. And then it's 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's no longer a few minutes here, a few minutes there. It's a different movement coming through, a different acceptance, because you now have your place to receive fully.
So we must realize that mother is our first guru.
Mother and father.
Mother and father. Otherwise, all pursuit for external guru is doomed.
Well, I'm not going to say what must be done, but I can say that I work with many people who've been in deep spiritual journey, thousands of hours of meditation.
Yeah, for decades.
And they take the movement, and the life is falling on their head, and the movement of compassion is pouring through. And you know, when you go through that, and you've been doing the deep work, thousands of hours of work internally, and this happens, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, why didn't I think of this 30 years ago, you know? But it's that simple, because you have to make the place for the creative field of the intelligence of our nature to come to. All that judgment, all that shutdown, all that rigidity, all that protection and shielding ourselves and being safe, how is it that that source of life field can bloom through? You see? all that falls away. All that falls away in the life field, compassion field, source field pours through.
Ron, how would you respond to in Hong Kong and in lots of Chinese communities, particularly lots of local Hong Kong women are deeply, how shall I put it, drawn or trapped into mother's emotions or subconscious to rescue my mom and feel great guilt for not having able to rescue my mom. So, and they shoulder and bear all the responsibilities of their mothers.
Oh, this is a little big one. Exactly the description.
So actually, this
the little big ones, one of the major responses they have to everything in their image of insufficiency is their guilt of not being good enough or sufficient enough.
Yeah.
You cannot save your mother, but you can honor and love your mother. And when you honor and love the mother, you love her as she is without judging her and making her different. Understanding she had the power to give life to you. Only she had the power. And then the respect comes. When the respect comes, you become small. So you'll see them carrying everybody, and that's a following. One generation to the child, mother-child, next, it's a following. The same movement going through. But once you have that understanding coming, then you're breaking through. And you're bringing a teaching now, not to your children that came before, you're bringing a new movement into the field of life. That also goes back to those who came before you. The ancestors do not want you being them or like them or suffering like them. They went through what they had to go through. But here you are now in the conditions of your life, it's different. We carry many of their stories and many of their themes, and much of what we do is to resolve what could not be done before. But if you take that movement deeply, the movement of your life comes through as healing to the field of life that came to you. It goes through everybody, backwards and forward in time. It's a different time.